The USL League One enters its back half of the 2024 season with Week 14 of regular season play. Knoxville and Northern Colorado clash for the third time in 2 months. The Hailstorm prevailed in both of their previous encounters and remain undefeated against One Knox. We're at Regal Soccer Stadium on ESPN+. Hello and welcome, I'm Ryan Lee, so happy to be with you, and these two teams are in the playoff hunt as we look at the standings brought to you by PYA. One Knox and the Hailstorm are 2 of the 6 teams separated by only 6 points. Knoxville is riding back-to-back wins, putting them in 5th place, while NoCo sits just above Richmond in that 8th and final playoff spot. Northern Colorado did just end a 10-game unbeaten streak, so they know how to string together results. They'll need to do that to stay in the playoff race in Knoxville, who the last time that these two teams clashed, it was a back-and-forth affair. Things started off only a minute and 12 into the match, where Bruno Rendon was assisted by Patrick Langlois only on the free kick. Once again, only a minute and 12 into the match, things got off to a hot start for Northern Colorado. However, defensive error for Northern Colorado would provide Kempis Tequila a chance from the spot to equalize things in the 88th minute. Right then and there, it looked like these two sides would then come out with a point apiece. However, a heartbreaker in stoppage time would decide things. Danny Garcia in the 90+5 on the corner kick gave the Hailstorm the 2nd goal of the game and the full 3 points to walk away with the W. And Kempis Tequila was a key part in the last time that these two teams played. Expect him to do the exact same. The 26-year-old from Germany is currently 3rd in League One regular season goals. He needs to be the energizer that he has been for Mark McKeever all season. For a Knoxville unit, that is the 3rd fewest goals scored in the regular season. So expect Tequila to be the leader on offense for Mark McKeever going forward. Another team who's been struggling to produce offense is Northern Colorado. They have the 2nd fewest goals in League One regular season play. However, who is not struggling is Bruno Rendon. His 9 goals across League One competitions puts him only 3rd behind Lyle McKinnon of Greenville and JC Obregon of Charlotte. Expect him to lead the charge for Northern Colorado as they take their spot in Knoxville. One Knox is looking for their 3rd straight win and their first against Northern Colorado, who look to break 500 in regular season play. The starting 11s and the opening half of play coming up next.
The other day, my daughter was like, "Dad, what happened to the internet? It's so fast." For the first time in years, it's like, we connected.
What?
The KUB Fiber Effect. See when it's coming to you at KUB.org.
The all-new Volkswagen ID4 SUV is truly something to behold. On the outside, clean aerodynamic lines. On the inside, plenty of room with a spacious, comfortable cabin. It will transform how you think about electric cars. Now available at Harper Volkswagen and at harpervolkswagen.com.
We're here at Regal Soccer Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. One Knoxville is coming off of back-to-back wins. They want to make it 3 straight, while Northern Colorado, if they can get the W, it will put them at 11 of 12 wins. in their stretch as they take things off in One Knoxville. As we take a look at the starting 11s. Starting things off for the home side, One Knoxville, brought to you by KUB Fiber. Not a lot of changes for Mark McKeever. He kind of wants to keep a lot of things the same from what they did versus South Georgia Tormenta, as McKeever has finally gotten a roster that's a little bit healthier and a little more true to what their real top 11 is going to be moving forward. The continuity, familiarity, and chemistry really allows for more creativity and freedom in play. And also Frank Ross up top, he'll make his 25th appearance for One Knox throughout his 2 seasons. However, for Northern Colorado, they are making a couple of changes. They've got 3 to keep note of. Bruno Rendon, he's going to be alongside of Horde and King. Also take a look at Brock Evans, who's on the back line. That's not changing, but Evans is in his 50th match played with Northern Colorado. Kwakwa is out. Langlois will take his spot, and Delgado is the only player of Northern Colorado to play all of 1,470 minutes across all competitions for Northern Colorado. He's back in net for Iman Zayed as we take a look at the One Knoxville huddle. It's a side that has won back-to-back games. They want to make it 3 straight. They have not been able to do so since the very start of the season, where they kicked off the season with 4 consecutive wins, 3 in League One, 1 in the Open Cup. And for Northern Colorado, they've had a stumble in their last match versus Charlotte Independence. That was a 1-0 loss. However, that comes off of a streak of 10 unbeaten. So they want to make it 11 unbeaten in the last 12 matches. They have had great history against One Knoxville. As we mentioned in the Open, the 2 matches that Colorado has played against Knoxville, they have both produced a pair of wins, and they've also won by some pretty wide margins too. A combined 7-2 in those 2 matches between Northern Colorado and One Knoxville. The last time these 2 sides played here at Regal Soccer Stadium, it was a 5-1 thrashing by Northern Colorado, where things got started off and Northern Colorado just did not take the foot off the gas. However, the only stipulation there, that was in the Jägermeister Cup. That was the second game for Northern Colorado and for One Knoxville in the Jägermeister Cup. We're back to regular season action as One Knoxville will start things off with the opening kickoff in blue. Northern Colorado Hailstorm, they are in their all whites. And these 2 sides will have a clash that both coaches have noted is going to be physical, is going to be tough. Let's see how things fare today at Regal Soccer Stadium, where One Knox starts things off, and they've continued to have a good string of form. We mentioned their back-to-back wins. Both of them were coming off of clean sheets against Madison and Tormenta. Those were coming off of 2 different competitions, however. The only one that counted to the regular season was the 1-0 match last week versus South Georgia Tormenta. But for Knoxville, they have been in very strong standing, 5-4-1 in the regular season. That puts them at 5th in the League One table. But the key thing for One Knoxville is how they've been able to get those wins. It was back-to-back wins, both of them versus shutouts, and both of them were shutouts against top-tier offenses. Madison, they were number 3 in terms of goals scored. In Tormenta, they were 4th in the league in goals scored. But Knoxville's defense will have to work again as Northern Colorado is working fast. Rendon tries to charge up ahead, but he's offside early. Only a minute into the match, and Bruno Rendon already trying to make his presence felt, as it was just a little bit too far ahead of the pack as the flag went up. But Sean Lewis will take the first stoppage in play as we take a look at the injury report brought to you by University of Tennessee Medical Center. And Jessen Vanderploem, he's been out for a while with a leg injury, and Sean O'Hearn has come down with an illness, so he's not going to be available. Vanderploem has not played in quite a while, actually. It's been since midway through May when they took a trip to Central Valley. He was dinged up during that game. He hasn't played since. Mark McKeever's been talking about Vanderploem wanting to ease him into the way of play and not trying to force things too much, because the last thing they want to do is potentially make things worse by trying to potentially force anything. Northern Colorado want to make a round of offense, as we mentioned in the Open, how in the regular season they are the 2nd lowest goal scoring unit behind only Lexington. But a service into the box, deflected on and scored! But offside. Rendon thought he had his 10th goal in League One play. However, the flag went up before that one could fall. Rendon only hands on his head, as he had a couple of opportunities early on. A nice service from way out from Lucky Oprah, as we could see that ball curl in, and you can see Rendon was ahead of Thomas and Chrysler on that far end of the defensive line. And Lewis will send things off for the first time for Knoxville. As we get the first touch for Lalo Delgado. We mentioned that in the starting 11s, he's the only player in Northern Colorado to play all 1,470 minutes for Northern Colorado. That goes across Jägermeister, regular season, and Open Cup. He's really been that go-to guy for Iman Zayed, and it's hard to see why. It's hard not to see why, considering how he has been so electric for Northern Colorado. But they're back on it once more. Wide for Oprah, working on Richie into the center before it gets cleared away. Throw in goes from Northern Colorado. Chuck this one all the way back for Garcia, who cycles it around. Evans for Yamazaki. Yamazaki leaves it for Martinez. And this is a defensive unit for Northern Colorado who has been able to contribute on offense pretty regularly, especially when you have two guys on the wing who have been known to press up when the time comes. And Yamazaki and Oprah, they've both been great distributors since coming in. And Yamazaki is one of those guys who is in his first professional season, was signed late in April, coming from Oral Roberts. He's the first Japanese player in Northern Colorado history, and he has been an impact ever since he joined NOCO from the NCAA. Touch pass up ahead, still alive for Yamazaki, retreats it back for Rendon. Rendon tries to go up ahead as the cross comes up, but too much. The intended target was Jackson Dietrich, but he was unable to get the height on. It was a little too much, but Knoxville want to make things go in transition with Kempis Tequila. Tequila has that one pickpocketed, and now the other side goes Martinez. These are two sides who have not been able to score very much. We mentioned how Northern Colorado have been in the regular season. Knox, they are only one goal above them in the regular season standings. They have the third fewest goals behind only Lexington and Northern Colorado. But right now they're trying to test the defense for Knox, who is currently allowing the second fewest goals. And part of that has to do with their ability to draw some of those fouls, especially offensive units. We take a look at Chelo Martinez, who was on that last attack. Sean Lewis with the distribution. It's something that we probably haven't needed to mention yet, but these are two goalies who are very high in pedigree. It's one of the multitude of reasons why both Knox and Northern Colorado have been stingy to play against, because not only the play of their goalies, but the guys in front of them as well. And sometimes when the play maybe breaks down, you need to call on that last guy to make a play with the gloves. Rendon cuts towards the middle, dishes it off. Martinez swing around, and that one gets disrupted by Richie, intended for King, but King was a little bit too far out of reach from the feed from Martinez. It's the third time in 8 weeks that these two sides have played. We mentioned how Knoxville have yet to win against Northern Colorado. The advantage is 4 wins and a draw for Northern Colorado. The third and final meeting between these two this season. And in the 5 games total that they have played, Northern Colorado has had the scoring advantage by a total of 13-5. And Northern Colorado want to continue to have that pressure, continue to put their foot on the gas. And one of the keys really is who's going to win the possession battle, because if Knoxville is able to get that possession battle, they're not going to allow Northern Colorado to score, and vice versa. Header comes along wide. Langlois could not catch up to it, so it's a goal kick for Sean Lewis. Northern Colorado are back in their own zone. They want to try to make something work upfield. But a quick turnover, had to be a quick reaction there for Jordan Skelton. But another turnover at center pitch will turn things around for Northern Colorado. Hailstorm in the regular season, they're playing at 3-3-0. However, it's been almost a tale of 2 teams between the regular season and Jägermeister Cup. We've mentioned they're 500 in the regular season, but they have been undefeated in Jägermeister Cup play with 3 goals and a pair of draws in 5 matches, as the feed up on the wing was a little bit too far for the intended target, Oprah, who was on the reception. Tempest Tequila and Jordan Skelton go back and forth. As it comes back for Angelo Kelly. Mark McKeever mentioned his desire to have the possession, because as long as they have the ball, it doesn't allow Northern Colorado to get their opportunities in. He understands how dangerous Hailstorm have been, especially on offense, especially in transition, because they've been able to bring numbers forward. And the key thing for Knoxville is the number of unforced errors, as both the 2 Northern Colorado games were mentioned as probably the worst game that anyone's played in Knoxville, that 5-1 loss. Richie tries to keep that one in play, but it just juggles past him, and it bounces its way out of play. And those were some of the things that we just mentioned about how Mark McKeever wants to reduce some of those unforced errors, some of the turnovers, a couple of inaccurate passes that go for throw-ins or just changes in possession of any sort. Because any time that Knoxville does not have the realm of play in their possession, they can't really control the flow of the game. And for a team like Northern Colorado, who is coming off a 10-game unbeaten streak, that's something you're gonna have to do to keep the points for NoCo at a 0. Ball comes loose, Ethan Horde, he has a full head of steam but was disrupted. Richie pressured along the sideline before it gets sent away. Kelly keeps it alive. No one able to claim it. Kelly gets taken down. Foul on Martinez. Another look at the back and forth. And that ball was just bouncing up and down. And it looks like Martinez just clipped Angelo Kelly on the heel as Kelly was making his attempt to play the ball. And that's the first bit of discipline that we've seen from the head official, Joe Matto, with Tyler Buchman and Stephen Faria as the assist referees, with Atahan Yaya as our fourth official. It's a deep set piece for Knoxville. Johnson up, available, no one able to claim it. It's Frank Ross before it gets stripped away by King. King goes all the way back for Garcia. Northern Colorado are back on it once again. We mentioned it was a 1-0 loss versus Charlotte Independence, which was the one that snapped the 10-game unbeaten streak. That's the longest unbeaten streak in League One. And that considers the fact that some of the top-tier teams like Omaha and Madison, throw in Charlotte Independence in the mix, they've all had unbeaten streaks of 8 at some point throughout the season. NOCO had that league longest unbeaten streak of 10 broken by Charlotte. And that's one of those things also that makes it really tough to continue on those long unbeaten streaks. As Iman Zayed stated that it's better for the result to come now rather than later, and that it's something that just has been perhaps looming for a while. Especially because that one goal that was credited was not necessarily even a Charlotte goal. It was actually a Northern Colorado own goal that was the one-goal decider. Galloping around is King, works on Kelly, looks for some space, comes towards center, and Johnson with the disruption. Ethan Horde leaves it behind for Langlois. Cycles its way around for Yamazaki. Neither team have been able to generate a shot attempt as Angelo Kelly saves that one off of the line to prevent a corner and just sends it out. Not a lot going on so far in a little over 16 minutes of play. Only a little over 2/3 of possession in favor of Northern Colorado. Not a shot attempt to speak of for either side. However, a couple of offsides for Northern Colorado, and even a potential goal that got wiped off because the flag went up. Centered for Martinez, out wide, Oprah tries to handle, sends it in, it gets deflected up and out by King. Might have taken a glance off of a one Knox player, it did, so it's the first corner kick of the match for Northern Colorado. Oprah was on that wide side, just took an attempt, and that was actually the clearance. Martinez will take the first corner of the match. Outswung and cleared out by Knoxville, still in play. Dietrich goes for goal, and he's just a little bit off. But a nice attempt for the first shot attempt of the match from Jackson Dietrich. And sometimes you gotta take those chances because there hasn't been anything in the first quarter hour of play. And they always say sometimes you gotta lead by example, especially when you're wearing the captain's armband. Well, sometimes it's those opportunities that just might even find its way. You never know. It could take a funny deflection or a bounce along the way. Maybe the barrage of bodies in front can screen a goaltender. So you have to appreciate the attempt, even though nothing was resulting from it. Knoxville has it. It's Kelly. Wanted to feed up center for Tequila, but was a little bit off the mark on that reception. Second half of games for both of these two teams. For Northern Colorado, of the 30 games that they are set to play, this is game number 15 for Knoxville. This is game 16 of 30. That's if you combine the regular season and Jägermeister Cup, but things can always add on with the Jägermeister Cup playoffs. Johnson on the head for Ritchie. Frank Ross tries to turn things around, but Oprah's in the way. Left all the way back for Delgado. Only stopped one of the two shots that went his way versus the Independents. As the distribution comes out wide for Yamazaki. It's difficult for these two teams to string together those wins. And in Mark McKeever's words, it's so tough because the quality of every single team in USL League One, top to bottom, is so tight. There's been proof that anyone can beat anyone, and how even to the bottom, the top, USL League One is one of the closer leagues that he's seen in terms of the overall distribution of quality, from the very top, which is currently occupied by Greenville Triumph, even to the teams in the bottom like Central Valley Fuego, because Greenville has lost to some teams who are quote-unquote on the bottom of the regular season standings. In Central Valley, they've gotten some swings at some of the teams at the top and have taken them to some results. Horde takes a tumble, no whistle called. So Kelly takes it in transition after the reception from Johnson. Sievert Haugli and Fernandez. He wants to continue looking. You can see for Danny Fernandez, he's on that leg brace on his left leg. That was due to a partial ACL tear. It's been working back into shape. And the inclusion of Fernandez is so important for Mark McKeever because he has that chemistry with those other defenders. How it allows some of those maybe wing guys like Thomas, like Ritchie, to potentially step up into the play. Angelo Kelly makes the charge up ahead, but is watched by Rendon. And the bounce comes out of play for our Knoxville throw. James Thomas was the one who took the clip off the foot. Sievert Haugli. Callum Johnson. He looks for a lane, has Ross. Kelly. Dishes out wide, has Thomas, goes for center, but it comes off of Yamazaki, and it provides Knoxville with the first corner of the match.
Fans, make some noise for a corner kick. Brought to you by University Orthopedic Surgeons. The official orthopedic surgeon.
All corner kicks for One Knoxville are brought to you by University Orthopedic Surgeons. Kempis Tequila to set things up. He's got Stuart Ritchie beside him. Only one shot attempt to note of after 23 minutes. That was from Jackson Dietrich of the Hailstorm. Short. Back it goes for the service, but no one was able to get there except for Breck Evans. Thomas takes another try, cleared away from Rendon, but falls right back to Thomas. Do we get take three? Elevation. No one able to claim it into the hands of Delgado. He wants to go quick as Knoxville brings numbers forward. Rendon goes out wide. King and Horde are there. King goes for Horde. Ritchie's in a foot race. Horde, pestered by Kelly, comes back. And Rendon could not get the reception as the clearance falls for Ross. And Ross takes a tumble, and that one draws a whistle. Just a talking to for Yamazaki, no card distributed. As the counterattack fell right for Ross, and Ross has been in good form as of late. You see Yamazaki just gets the elbow out to clip Frank Ross down to stop play. The competition is heating up this summer on CBS. Sacramento Republic FC look for revenge against the red-hot Oakland Roots SC on Sunday, July 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern. And on August 3rd at 4 p.m., a surging Detroit City FC hosts newcomers Rhode Island FC for the very first time as the USL Summer of Soccer continues on CBS. 8 of the 11 upcoming nationally televised USL games are on the CBS family of networks, whether that be CBS-SN or CBS. And we saw a couple of weeks ago that thriller between the Richmond Kickers and Forward Madison on CBS-SN, where it kind of goes back to that previous point I made, how anyone can be anyone in this league. And Knoxville want to potentially get the first jab on Noko, as it's currently Stuart Ritchie. Leaves it Johnson. Ross just a little bit too shy for him as Colorado's able to clear, but Fernandez settles it down. A lot of options for some of these guys, as it's probably one of the first real times that Mark McKeever has had his best 11 available. He's done so for back-to-back games with today and against Tormenta. And having those options available and having all of his key pieces healthy allows for some consistency, some fluidity, the cohesion that these guys have yearned for all year long, and just has not been available because they're missing a key component, or maybe somebody who really fills up a position really well, maybe on the midfield or on the outside. And sometimes when you're looking for that chemistry, you're not trying to force those pieces together. He really talked about letting these pieces fit very naturally. As the dish goes for Tequila, returns for Ross. Ross getting eyed by Dietrich. Dietrich with a slide, unable to go, cross in front, clear it away. Second chance for Haugli, takes a tumble and a whistle for Colorado. Rendon was the one who was sent to the ground after the contact. And Northern Colorado maybe would have wanted to play advantage. At least from that replay angle, it looks like it really could have been a 50-50 ball, but a little bit too soon for Sievert Haugli, one of 2 players for Knoxville who have played every single minute across competitions. The other one being Stuart Ritchie on that back line. Still only the singular shot attempt to note from Jackson Dietrich a while ago. And as we're just shy of a half a minute, the expected goals are 0 and 0.02. These are 2 defensive teams who have not really been able to score a lot in regular season action. But for Northern Colorado, can they replicate the form that they've had in the Jägermeister Cup? They've got to throw it inside of the Knoxville end. And for Northern Colorado, they have the 2nd fewest goals in the regular season, however, have the most goals in Jägermeister Cup action. Ball out of play, throw in Knoxville. For context on that last note of Northern Colorado, by the way, it's 10 goals in 9 competitions in the regular season, 16 goals in 5 Jägermeister Cup matches. It's almost like night and day for Northern Colorado when they flip from regular season to Jägermeister Cup. Turnover comes back to middle as it goes returned for Lucky Oprah. King comes back for Martinez as Yamazaki's on the far sideline. Thomas is in front of Yamazaki, but it comes back for King. Yamazaki, King, and Martinez play catch with each other, but that Northern Colorado back line of Evans, Garcia, they're creeping up ever so closer. As they want to shorten this field. Drive ball goes for Horde. Comes out wide, Oprah towards the center, partially deflected by Ritchie and sent away by Fernandez. Select is the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Up top it goes, all the way around for Yamazaki. Northern Colorado, they have scored in quick succession numerous times throughout the 2024 season thus far. We talked about in the open how in that last game versus Knoxville, they scored in the 2nd minute. They've scored early in a couple of their other recent matches versus Spokane and Central Valley. They've taken the first goal. Yamazaki wants to make something work. Sends the distribution towards the center as that one comes off of a head. Ball goes Knoxville's way anyways. Yamazaki wanted to try for the setup. He had Horde and Rendon there, but that appeared to be Jalen Chrysler who had the head on. As we take a look at the hydration break, we're going to have one for the half.
Due to the high temperature in tonight's match, the referee has indicated a safety and hydration break for the players. Break will last up to 3 minutes. Thank you.
So there's a hydration break at the 30-minute mark in Knoxville. As at the end of the day, it is the middle of summer. As we take a look at One Knoxville, we mentioned how they've done throughout the season so far. They've struggled versus Northern Colorado, but it doesn't really take exception to how things have gone. Mark McKeever's even said that sometimes that this team, they've been trying to experiment a little bit with what has been, what you might say is a little different from what they've done in the past. They've been primarily a defensive team for all of last year, and how he kind of likened the form of Knoxville to kind of being like a tree as you see him in the blue directing traffic. He said that you start things off with the roots, a strong back line, a strong defensive unit, being structural and technical, staying organized throughout all of the chaos up in front, and how you kind of transition that into offense. For Northern Colorado, as you see Iman Zayed directing traffic there, he's had a lot of experience. He's the first head coach in Northern Colorado history. He's been there all 3 seasons for NOCO and has been very strong throughout his 3-year tenure at 33, 20, and 20 in 73 matches of regular season play. And Mark McKeever really takes a lot of pride in how far this team has come since their season last year, considering how their leading goal scorer, Jake Keegan, he only scored 6 goals across all the competitions. Kempis Tequila, he's got 6 in just the League One competitions. That doesn't even include the Open Cup, where he's 1 shy of double digits. So it's already shown that some of the results of Mark McKeever's plan, the seed that he's been growing, have blossomed into the fruits of the labor for One Knox. And whenever him and I have our chats with each other to catch up, same thing always goes on how the apples are growing, and they have been growing in the last 2 years, considering how they are already on pace to better some of their marks from last season in terms of offensive production, while the defensive production, or rather lack thereof for other teams, has been pretty much the same. And a lot of that starts off with a man in the green, their 2023 USL League One Golden Glove in Sean Lewis, going up against another exceptional keeper on the other end in Lalo Delgado, who had a League One record, 13 clean sheets in 2023. Northern Colorado and Knoxville, respectively, they compile the 2nd and 3rd best defensive units across USL League One, and that has shown against once again today, as they are still scoreless with 10 minutes to go in the first half. No cards, no goals, as we are 35 minutes in. It's a scalding 86-degree day. And it's only gonna stay pretty much the same for the rest of the match. No wind to speak of, but high chance of precipitation at around the second half. Attempted chip up for Garcia, gets blocked by One Knox, but it falls back for Martinez, who spins around and has to scope out Yamazaki. Inward for Dietrich. Dietrich still accounts for the lone shot attempt in 36 minutes of play. And that shot wasn't even on target. A lot of this maybe not necessarily what you expect, as they're both in the top 5 in terms of shot attempts. One Knox is top 3 in terms of shot attempts. So only a singular attempt for the two teams is something that would be very unusual if you've seen these two teams play individually. Stoppage in play, fed into the area, and that one goes over the net. Sean Lewis tried to touch that one over, went over nonetheless. As Martinez wanted the in-swinger, and that one was over the head of Lewis. Sean Lewis, 4th in saves in USL League One. He didn't make one in that last free kick attempt. However, a try was made. And for Mark McKeever, it has to be a little bit secure knowing that he has a goaltender who has been reliable in numerous occasions. And he even has a solid backup too in Johan Garibay, who got a clean sheet in the last time he started against Ford Madison of all teams, who is currently top 3 in the USL League One table. So we've seen and talked about and even continue to see how Knoxville's defense has played a part as Sievert Haugli makes a nice sliding tackle to dislodge that one from Noko. Kelly pivots. Too far on the touch. Ritchie could not keep it in play. The yellow card came out after all of the disgruntled conversation. Appears to be Sievert Haugli who will be booked.
A caution has been issued by the referee for the Knoxville number 3, Sievert Haugli, in the 38th minute.
Tip goes, Rendon, he controls, Rendon shoots, and that one falls right for Sean Lewis, who has to make his first save. It took 40 minutes for the first shot on target. And 39 minutes for the first yellow card to come out. We've talked about the continuity in this Knoxville lineup, especially with going with the same 11 in back-to-back games, and some of those guys, like Stuart Ritchie, who just made that last play. Knoxville's looking for some of that creativity and freedom with the ball, and just those positive plays continuing slowly but surely upfield. As Knoxville, they want to be creative. They want to take those opportunities. They do have some of the highest numbers in terms of shots. And Mark McKeever has even expressed that he would rather any of the players on the pitch to take a swing and take their opportunities rather than to play safe. Is what happened last couple losses. So we take a look at that last piece of contact from behind. It was Ritchie on King, but Northern Colorado want to churn again. Oprah centers for King. Still on it for Northern Colorado as it's Oprah again. Ritchie took a deflection, throw in, Hailstorm. Oprah, King is looking for some space. Langlois and Dietrich just looking for anything right now. Knoxville are just switching back and forth especially against Tormenta. They went with a 5-man defensive unit versus South Georgia. So they can essentially play back and really get those reinforcements on defense. It worked for them against a top 4 offensive unit in South Georgia Tormenta, a top 3 offensive unit versus Madison. And they need to hold on again versus a team who has scored at least 2 goals in every single game of their 10-game unbeaten streak. Northern Colorado, in that 10-game streak, they outscored their opponents 24-13 throughout those 10 games. So they know how to get those goals, especially in stretches. Dietrich just looks for anything to go as Yamazaki, he is getting clamped down by Kelly. Left for Dietrich. As the tackle goes, advantage being played. Near side, Oprah. Oprah comes behind, Rendon takes a try and blocked out of play. A nice sliding tackle from Jordan Skelton to prevent the crossing from Rendon, but it is a corner at the end of the day for Knoxville. As you can see, that sliding tackle made by Jordan Skelton. And Northern Colorado will try the corner. Only a minute left to go in the half, plus stoppage. Up for a try, and that one missed. Dietrich with another swing and another miss. Sean Lewis with the dive, didn't have to make contact. As Dietrich has been taking those wide opportunities. And you can't really blame Jackson Dietrich for trying some of those things, as we mentioned. He's in his 51st game in League One play, 47 regular season matches with Northern Colorado. Kelly too hard on the attack. Dietrich, we saw him on those couple of shot attempts. He goes down after some aggressive contact from Angelo Kelly. We take another look back. Kelly, he couldn't quite control the ball, so he got his legs tangled up with Dietrich. I wouldn't even necessarily say that was an aggressive play on Angelo Kelly as he gets the warning. But with 3 minutes of stoppage to go, just a little bit of tangle up with just some body-to-body contact from Kelly and Dietrich, as the 3 minutes of stoppage time is presented to you by University Family Physicians. Oprah towards center, cleared out by Fernandez. Tequila couldn't quite find a lane, but it falls for Ross. Leaves it, Johnson. Johnson elects to play it back instead of trying to set up a potential run for Kelly, as we're in the first minute of 3 in stoppage. Haugley distributes, couldn't hit Kelly on the money, so it goes for Martinez as it retreats back for Delgado. Stumble for Oprah. He's triple teamed by a couple One Knox players, and it comes out of play off of Noko. Throw in for Knoxville, deep in the Colorado end. Quick it goes for Ross. Richie to Ross, that connection was successful twice against Madison, as Kelly just takes a two-handed shove in the back of Garcia. Angelo Kelly is tied for the league lead in fouls, as he just took that two-handed shove on the back of David Garcia. lot of experience on this Northern Colorado team off of USL League One, even including their head coach, Iman Zayed, who spent the latter portion of his career, the first 2 seasons in Chattanooga Red Wolves history, and a trio of seasons in the USL Championship, 2 with the Indy 11 and the other one with the Charlotte Independents when they were still in the championship, or rather just the USL before it became the USL Championship. Yamazaki takes a try, and that one's held off by Lewis. Another look as Yamazaki, he was going for another distance try, and that one was just dived on by Sean Lewis. And each of the 3 shot attempts from Northern Colorado was well outside of the box. They haven't beaten Lewis, and One Knoxville haven't beaten Delgado either. It's zeros across the board after the first half of play, as we have plenty from around the entirety of USL and League One at halftime, as we are here at Regal Soccer Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's Christmas in July night for One Knoxville. They have yet to beat Lalo Delgado, and Northern Colorado Hailstorm have yet to get past Sean Lewis. We're at zeros at the break. Plenty from USL when we come back.
Well, kids, our lives are going to be different now. It was part of our family for so long. This is just part of growing up.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad to see it go.
Yeah, me too. Let's go inside. It is muggy out here.
Say goodbye to the loading bar and say hello to KUB Fiber. With up to 10 gig speed, it could be the end of waiting as we know it. The world's fastest internet, only from KUB.
Backyard staycations begin with Earthadelic, transforming outdoor spaces into your own relaxing oasis. From custom design to superior installation, our team is dedicated to providing the highest level of quality and craftsmanship with every one-of-a-kind project. Earthadelic offers stunning, resort-worthy outdoor living that will be uniquely suited for your home, delivering a complete turnkey work of art in your backyard. Earthadelic, surpassing expectations and creating the outdoor paradise you've always dreamed of. Contact us today to schedule your consultation.
We're back here at Regal Soccer Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, where it is scoreless between One Knox and Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Plenty of action across the USL and USL League One.
Brazilian winds up, and he tucks it home. The Owls with the early lead. And pressure they have applied here in this one. Here's Steven Dos Santos! Picks the side netting and scores! Oh no, it's a careless giveaway. Steven Dos Santos has 2 for Omaha. Here's the effort on goal, it's up the crossbar. And it falls back down and in! Bad giveaway. Liotti to Cerritos. Cerritos to the left-hand side for Brown! And Lexington are on the board. The ball's given away, and Lexington are clinical with it. Corrales with the long throw, headed across the face of goal! And it's in for Lexington.
With 10 goals in all competitions. The ball comes into the area and somehow finds its way in. Can't enter the area. Back to Powder, ball in, flicked on, pushed over the bar by Austin Pack. Pack had it covered. Oprah renews the interest across the goal mouth, still for grabs. Dietrich just touched wide. Finding the feet of Mariona, flushed into the area, knocked around. It's a disaster class at the back from Northern Colorado. Fuego into the box, flag down for now. Siobhan John Brown bursts away into the corner. Tackles Yamazaki, a back heel Robles, Keegan fires, my word! Super strike. Whimsy, ball in. Gill! Wonderstruck in Windsor!
For Vinyals, and now Bill Hart, who's just behind him, back for Terzaghi! That's what he does best! Emiliano Terzaghi, back on the score sheet, 1-0 Richmond! Davila again. This one towards the near post, it's flicked in! Juan Galindrez with a flair for the dramatic again, and Madison equalize in Richmond. This is the last action. As it's sent in, all the big bodies forward, it's in! The Richmond Kickers win the Henny Derby!
Bit of momentum. Good ball into the back post! Is it kept off the line? Yes, it is. No! Lukic stays on his feet. Vaj tried to play the offside trap. It doesn't work. Mael Malongo to level it! No doubt about it! There's a good ball in behind. First time strike! Oh my goodness! The patience pays off! Luis Hill, take a bow! Spokane back in front!
Kiva gets his team going quickly. Tequila, lovely from Tequila! Kempis Tequila breaks the deadlock. Out. Mark McKeever delighted. Look what it means to all of them. They know how difficult that has been.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL. You can see it in my eyes. Only want the best. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I don't care. I paint the town red.
If you can survive this, it's going to make the whole story that much better.
The bright horses are broken free from the fields.
Shaw's in front of him, takes a deflection. Here comes Sacramento right back, and Trevor
mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
As we're back here at the half between Knoxville and Northern Colorado, we take a look at the Week 13 Team of the Week. Steven Dos Santos listed as the Player of the Week, scoring 2 goals on 3 shots. Only 14 minutes of play for those 2 goals. Couple of guys from One Knoxville, Callum Johnson, Kempis Tequila, his game-winning goal against Tormenta got him a Team of the Week honors as well. As we see a bunch of guys from Spokane also leading the way for Week 13's Team of the Week. The summer of soccer continues for the USL and USL League One across the nationally televised schedule for the USL. Of the multitude of nationally televised games across the USL, 8 of them are either on CBS or CBS Sports Network. 3 of them have gone to ESPN2, and of the matches listed, Pittsburgh and Detroit both have 3 games, while Sacramento Republic, they've got 4 across the board. Expect to see a lot of Detroit and the Riverhounds on national TV. We return here for the standings brought to you by PYA, and it's been a lot of shuffling, especially as these standings are live. As we take a look at things, Chattanooga Red Wolves, they're leading up on the Richmond Kickers, so that puts them and Northern Colorado with their split points right now with 1 Knox. That puts Chattanooga above the playoff line. Tormenta drops out. However, there's still a lot of things that can still potentially come into play. 1 Knox, if they continue the draw, they'll be ahead of Charlotte Independence for 4th in the league. However, for 1 Knox, they want to secure the full 3 points if they could potentially catch up to that Madison and Omaha line. Madison and Greenville, Omaha and Greenville, are still scoreless. Well, we're still scoreless here at Regal Soccer Stadium, where 1 Knoxville and Northern Colorado have yet to find the back of the net. We'll be back for the second half of play when we return.
KUB Fiber. It's the fastest internet in the world.
Seriously?
Seriously. Up to 10 gig speed with no contracts and no hidden fees. Let's see the other guys try to match that. The world's fastest internet, only from KUB.
The all-new Volkswagen ID4 SUV is truly something to behold. On the outside, clean aerodynamic lines. On the inside, plenty of room with a spacious, comfortable cabin. It will transform how you think about electric cars. Now available at Harper Volkswagen and at harpervolkswagen.com.
We're back here at Knoxville, Tennessee once again, as Knoxville and Northern Colorado, they've yet to find the back of the net in the first half of play. As we take a look into the second half of play, before we do that, how do we even get to this point of 45 minutes with no goals? As we take a look at the highlights throughout 45 minutes of play, as the two sides, they've come in on some momentum. Northern Colorado Hailstorm, they lost the game, but that was coming off a 10-game unbeaten streak, as the first feed comes out wide for Thomas, who was working on Yamazaki. Thomas has been dangerous from out wide all game long. However, the distribution was cleared away, and no second opportunity there for Stuart Ritchie. But lucky Oprah has been dangerous all game long. He tried to feed that one for Billy King. He's been providing those services from out wide. However, that service wide was deflected off of the head of Jordan Skelton, and a long-range try from Jackson Dietrich went wide. Yamazaki tried another crosser for him, but the opportunity was cleared away by One Knox once more. Another opportunity off of a free kick goes overhead, and Bruno Rendon tried to do things himself. That's the lone shot on target of the match. Another chance for Dietrich was wide of the mark, and then Yamazaki takes a try outside of the box. That's 4 shot attempts. 2 of them have been on target for Northern Colorado. However, only 1 shot of those 4 for NOCO have been inside of the box. That could potentially change in the second half of play. For One Knoxville, they need to get the ball to the net any way that they can. Even take an attempt. Just make Lalo Delgado just break a sweat for even attempting to see something go his way. However, it's been a lot of stifling on the offensive side for One Knoxville because Northern Colorado have just been playing so tight on the defensive unit. Once One Knoxville, they have guys back, then Northern Colorado tends to kind of retreat very heavily and just be a defensive unit. As One Knoxville's back up on the pitch, Northern Colorado have yet to take it. Both of these two sides, they're in regular season action for back-to-back weeks. And next week, on the 19th and 20th, we're back for Jägermeister Cup action. And for One Knoxville, we mentioned it earlier, they haven't gotten a shot on even an attempt, only about a third of possession, and that is something that Mark McKeever noted was going to be the key to potentially even getting a result out of Northern Colorado if they're forced to sit back on their heels because Northern Colorado was dominating possession or they haven't necessarily had the opportunities to make things work. That's going to only hurt Knoxville in the long run because they're not getting opportunities. They can't even attempt the shots that they want to, as we saw in those halftime stats, because Northern Colorado has dominated close to 2/3 of possession. They've been able to get those final third entries. They've been able to get those deep runs. They were offsides twice. Bruno Rendon could have potentially broken this game open 1-0, but that one was called off for offside. And Knoxville have not even had a touch inside of the Northern Colorado box yet. So that's really going to be something for Mark McKeever to potentially adjust to going forward, because so many times we have seen in USL League One how some of the more dangerous teams, your Madisons, your Greenvilles, your Omahas, they take those chances inside of the area where the shots are zooming in and they can't quite get it through. But Northern Colorado and One Knoxville potentially want to break the ice here, as Northern Colorado will take the opening kickoff. NOCO is in the whites. They will start the second half going from right to left. One Knoxville in the all blues with the orange shoulders going from left to right in the second half. No substitutions of note for either side. So it's the same 11 that we started this match off with, as neither Iman Zayed or Mark McKeever will make a change at the halfway break. Ryan Lee and our entire ESPN Plus broadcast crew. One Knoxville, Northern Colorado Hailstorm. One Knoxville, 5th place in the regular season standings at 5-4-1. Northern Colorado at 3-3-3. They, going into today, they were the last playoff seed in 8th place. Colorado already starting off with the early piece of possession. That was one of the big stains on One Knoxville in that first half. They were barely able to get any possession, but a long drive comes along the boundary. Frank Ross chases. Ross has possession. He holds as reinforcements comes. Oprah able to get the tackle out, and Ross was the last one to take a touch. Goal kick for Delgado. Haugley off the turnover from Chrysler. Kempis Tequila. And James Thomas come all the way back for Chrysler and Skelton. As Haugley turns around for Ritchie. Ritchie on Oprah. Oprah with a tackle, out of play. Ruled a deflection off of Ritchie in a Northern Colorado throw. Tune into ESPN2 for a USL Summer of Soccer showdown between championship Eastern Conference rivals Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC and Hartford Athletic as they battle to stay in the race for playoff contention. Saturday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern. We took a look at that halftime Summer of Soccer schedule. 3 games are coming to ESPN2 for the USL Championship side of things, as USL League One has gotten plenty of love on the national broadcasts as well. We mentioned that Madison-Richmond game where we saw the highlights at half. Even a couple of matches with Madison and Tormenta as well. So the ever so blooming recognition and notoriety of the USL and USL League One just growing ever so slightly as the opportunity for Knoxville grows ever so slightly with Callum Johnson along the wing. Johnson's got Thomas, leaves it, Johnson towards center. No one's there, he goes cross to cross for Ritchie. In front for Tequila. Haugley. Sievert Haugley, James Thomas is wide open on the near side. Yamazaki watches him, crowd in the area. Ross settles, has to turn away, takes a try, wants a deflection for Kelly, but it got disrupted all the way through. That appeared to be Patrick Langlois who was the one disrupted, but now it's Ross on the turnover. Ross tries to center, but that one comes off of Dietrich. Ruled a goal kick after it's all said and done. Frank Ross just tried to turn on the Jets. Dietrich coming all the way back for the defensive play. And that did very much go off of Ross after Dietrich came in for the slide. But 5 minutes in, we've probably seen more promising offensive attack for One Knox than, dare I say, the entirety of the first 45. As it looks like Knoxville's going a little more of a 4-4-3 than the 4-4-2 they started with Angelo Kelly potentially stepping up on some offensive pressure here and there. You can see Kelly with Ross and Haugley, but Kelly steps back as Yamazaki's got the feed on the near side. Yamazaki works on Kelly. Yamazaki attempted a stiff arm, but he just holds on, and Dietrich couldn't quite escape. Falls for Yamazaki, who plays it back. Five minutes into the second half, Northern Colorado trying to make the offensive unit go as Horde back passes, no one was available. Martinez and Horde were not on the same page, but the turnover goes. Rendon skips past one defender, Rendon's on it, into the area, Rendon takes a shot, blocked by Sievert Haugley. James Thomas amongst the blocks as well. Yamazaki wants a serve, Rendon with the head, goes into the tree line, out of play, goal kick for Lewis. Some nice offensive work from both of these two teams coming out of the half, as Chrysler and Rendon were just tangled up with each other. Jalen Chrysler was the one who had to deny Bruno Rendon the last opportunity. He's been a ever so growing presence for this One Knoxville side. He's played 36 of his 93 USL League One matches with One Knox. As the Knoxville player got spun around, no foul comes as King comes towards center, cleared out by Skelton. Off the line and out for a corner. John Skelton, a first-team League One last year. A 27-year-old defender from England, having to make a couple of very strong defensive efforts against a Northern Colorado side who have shown that they can make things go. But now Martinez steps up on the corner. First till the second half. Martinez outswung, headed away by Skelton, and cleared by Johnson. Yamazaki and Johnson in pursuit, and Delgado comes back from Yamazaki. A little bit of an errant play, comes out of play. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Knoxville's offside for the first time in this match. As we saw in Northern Colorado take a pair of offsides in the first half. Evans in his 50th start with Northern Colorado for the 24-year-old who last played in 2021 with Memphis 901 in the USL Championship side. He made his way from Memphis to Northern Colorado 3 seasons ago. As the distribution comes all the way up towards the area, couldn't hit Horde. Tequila settles, stripped by Yamazaki. Patrick Langlois goes across for Dietrich. He wears the captain's armband today as goes for Rendon. Rendon up top for Langlois. We've seen this from Northern Colorado all game, how the defensive line will creep up further and further to shorten the pitch and to put Knoxville on their heels. Feed is on the money, but Johnson with a disruption, still available for the Hailstorm. Opportunity goes as a long-range chance is punched away by Lewis. Horde with the race. Ritchie is there, and Ritchie will poke it up and out. However, kept in by Martinez. Yamazaki tries to go in. King evades Kelly. King on it still. Billy King goes out wide, deflected off of Thomas and out of play for the second corner of the half. Ten minutes into the match, already a pair of corners for Northern Colorado. We take a quick look at that last opportunity for Northern Colorado. It was the try from Billy King. He wanted his first goal in regular season action of the 2024 season, but Sean Lewis had to be sharp as the service comes in as it's held off by Lewis again. Rendon with possession, plays it back for Noko. Yamazaki with the sun in his face. Thomas with a head and out. Sent out by Skelton, held in by Evans. Martinez off the reception from King. The service is in, and that one is going to go out of play. Rendon tried another try at goal, but a quick goal kick from Lewis. As Knoxville, they had the intent, just couldn't get the execution, but now can Northern Colorado execute? No, they cannot. Fernandez was in the way. Langlois, King into the air. Rendon's alone, and he just goes a little too high. Rendon could not elevate enough. However, a nice try there from Bruno Rendon. As we saw, he was a part of the team of the week of week 13 as Tequila tries to go for the volley off of midair, and he made contact with Yamazaki. Kempis Tequila on the volley just has to eat that yellow card for the second time in the season. We take another look at that elevated try. Yamazaki got it with the head. Tequila tries to go for the foot. And check for Yamazaki is for potential head injury, because there's a potential that there may have been some foot to head contact from Tequila to Yamazaki. Another set piece comes from the near sideline for Chelo Martinez. He got a goal and an assist versus One Knoxville in the Jägermeister Cup match back in May. Can he potentially replicate some of that same magic today in the 59th? Martinez, in swung, elevated, up for grabs. Thomas falls for Kelly. Angelo Kelly, he's got some jets and he gets a yank on as Dietrich just takes a fat yank off of Angelo Kelly. And they say Angelo Kelly gets a yellow card as well for that kick of the ball after the yellow card and the whistle was already blown. So it's consequential yellows for Kelly and Dietrich. We see again, Angelo Kelly had a wide open lane. Dietrich just goes for the intentional grab. And I think Kelly didn't hear the whistle. He thought it was advantage being played, so he tried to go for the chip upward. But because of some of the earlier warnings between John Mato and Angelo Kelly, that was going to be concurrent yellows. It's a little curious as why not necessarily play the advantage there. But at the end of the day, Knoxville get their opportunity, and now we're in. And this is a pretty pivotal point for both of these two teams. Of the 21 total goals Knoxville has scored in the Jägermeister Cup and in the regular season, 15 have come in the second half. Of all of Northern Colorado's 34 goals, 18 have come after the hour. Ball up for grabs, Delgado with a snag. So this is a really key area, this next 30 minutes, of what can transpire. Because for Knoxville, over 3/4 of their goals have been in the second half. For Northern Colorado, over half of their goals have been after the hour. So what can Northern Colorado create? Especially with the sun in their eyes. And an 84-degree day in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we could potentially see another hydration break coming up later on as well, but that's to be determined later. Angelo Kelly. He's getting disrupted by Yamazaki. Able to find Stuart Ritchie. Ritchie just could not hit Ross on the money. And that's been that key area that we mentioned in the first half, is those unforced errors, the changes in possession, the turnovers, because they're not hitting their passes. If Knoxville hits those passes the same way they did versus Tormenta, the way they did versus Madison, they've been so close. They've been off by 2 to 3 inches here and there. We'd be talking about a much different offensive side of the ball for One Knoxville. but they've been spending so much time on their defense, in large part because they haven't been able to get those offensive opportunities. And now Northern Colorado takes another swing. Into the area it goes, and that's a scrap, 50-50. Both Thomas and Rendon go down. Throw-in goes in favor of Knoxville when it's all said and done. Thomas and Rendon, they just let that one slide because that was essentially a 50-50 ball, and they were both going down simultaneously. And that was another one of the keys that Knoxville knows they have to overcome with this Northern Colorado side, is that physicality, those one-on-one battles. Thomas and Rendon will have to be right there in order for one of them to get the advantage down the line. Chrysler and Skelton with Horde and King. Who's going to get the edge there? Is the offense or the defense? It's those 1v1 battles that can really determine the outcome in the long run. And right now it's Yamazaki and Kelly. Kelly guards off Yamazaki, leaves it for Thomas. Thomas has some space. Thomas chips up, headed on as Johnson couldn't hit it. Ball up for grabs. Stuart Ritchie holds on, whistle down in the area. A nice little spin move there from Angelo Kelly to find Thomas, as Tequila was unable to get the opportunity. Yamazaki. All the way around for David Garcia. Colorado still have possession, 20 minutes into the half. Yamazaki's at center. Billy King. He spent the last 3 years in Ireland, in his second year with Northern Colorado, and spent the 3 years prior to that over in Scotland. As it's just being fed around by Northern Colorado, they're essentially just gonna play this one out for as long as possible. Up on the near side, Ritchie gets the deflection out of play for the throw. No go quick. King for Oprah into the area, and that one is blocked by Jordan Skelton. Another corner upcoming for Northern Colorado. They've got 5. Knoxville's got only 1. .66 minutes, we're still scoreless. Martinez steps up on the corner for the 5th time. Outswung, headed, and up and out from David Garcia. A couple of substitutions are on deck. Gio Calixtro will replace Stuart Ritchie. That will end Stuart Ritchie's streak of every single minute played in the season. And Kingsford Ajay comes on for Frank Ross. Ajay will play his 62nd match in USL League One, number 7 in a Knoxville kit.
Substitution for one Knoxville in the 66th minute. Entering the match, number 45, Kingsford Ajay. Exiting the match, number 11, Frank Ross. Entering the match, number 91, Gio Calixtro. Exiting the match, number 22, Stuart Ritchie.
So it's a very interesting move for Mark McKeever to remove one of his key stalwarts in Stuart Ritchie, who has played every single minute of the entire season, Jaeger, regular season, and Open Cup. So this is the first time all season we're going to see that left side occupied by somebody other than Stuart Ritchie. We'll see how some of those gymnastics play out, but right now Gio Calixtro is on the near side. Long distribution intended for Tequila, disrupted by Northern Colorado, and Knoxville gets another throw. Kingsford Ajay taken down at the center circle. We've only had 4 yellow cards to speak of, 3 for Knoxville, 1 for Northern Colorado. One will not be given there as it's just a regular foul. Towards center, the intended pass was for Johnson, but couldn't quite hit. Fourteen fouls and 4 cards in this match so far. And Northern Colorado have taken all 10 shot attempts in this match. Towards center, having to turn around is Martinez, but Calixtro with the clear. Thomas couldn't quite chase, so that's one of those interesting wrinkles of how things will pan out. As the substitution for Northern Colorado will take place, the first for the match for them, Noah Powder for Jackson Dietrich. Noah Powder, 25 years old, in his second season with Northern Colorado, has 16 caps with the Trinidad and Tobago international team. As that could potentially be a lift for Northern Colorado, that distribution power of Powder. That's the first substitution made by the Hailstorm. Yamazaki, Martinez, stripped by Calixtro. Calixtro still on it. Back heel for Tequila. Now a 2-on-1. Gio Calixtro's got Ajay. Calixtro shoots as 2 wide. That's the first shot attempt for Knoxville 70 minutes in, and it comes off of the bench in the form of Gio Calixtro. This was the thing that we talked about at the half, is getting those opportunities to go, even getting an attempt on Lalo Delgado. Gio Calixtro comes off the bench, has an outstanding run, 2-on-1 with Kingsford Ajay, but couldn't quite get the berry. That's the first shot attempt for one Knoxville. It took about 69 minutes and 40 seconds to get. And for a team that is top 3 in shot attempts, that's not exactly what you want to see. But at the end of the day, a lot of their results have come because of how well their defense has played. And they've had to play a lot, as Knoxville's only possessed the ball 35% of this match. End to end for Powder. Johnson with the interception. Sievert Haugli as Thomas, and Thomas was blocked by Oprah and out. Thomas just taking a sweet, sweet time. Horde gets body checked from behind by Fernandez and earns a whistle. The USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis for every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. '73rd minute of one Knoxville versus Northern Colorado Hailstorm with Ryan Lee and our entire ESPN Plus broadcast crew in a scoreless match where Knoxville are coming off of back-to-back wins. In Northern Colorado, they want to be over 500 in the regular season. Kempis Tequila was offside on that last play. In 72 minutes, the expected goals are still at 0. With only one shot attempt for one Knox, they sit at .03 in the XG for NoCo. 10 shot attempts, 4 on net, a .7. Granted, Lalo Delgado has not been tested very much except for that shot that was wide from Calixto. And Sean Lewis has had to make a couple of saves, but nothing overly threatening. Noah Powder comes up for Ethan Horde. Martinez. Yamazaki takes the boundary. Langlois leaves it but receives it. In his first year with Northern Colorado, spent the last 5 in Australia as the header comes off of the head of Lucky Oprah right towards the hands of Sean Lewis. Another opportunity as Langlois was just a little bit over the head of James Thomas. Oprah was able to get a touch on it, but nothing much more after that. We're at a half an hour into the second half of play. We've only seen 3 substitutions made. 2 for Knoxville, 1 for Northern Colorado. And an 82-degree day hydration break is coming up. It's just a matter of when. Kingsford Ajay, Tequila stumbles but feeds it off for Thomas. Thomas into the area, but no one's on the receiving end as he overshoots Angelo Kelly. And speaking of the hydration break, here we go for the hydration break for the second half of play. Northern Colorado and 1 Knox, they're knotted up at zeros. As we take a look into some of the supporters of this 1 Knox match who have some Jägermeister Cup action coming up on the horizon. They're back here at Regal Soccer Stadium to play the Chattanooga Red Wolves in the Jägermeister Cup before they have back-to-back road games against some pretty tough road environments. They have to go to Furman to play the Greenville Triumph, and then they have to go to Lexington before they're back home again in mid-August to play Chattanooga twice within a month. And then it'll be the first time in regular season action, at least, that they host Spokane Velocity. It's even the first time that Knoxville and Spokane even play each other. And then to start things off in September, a trip back to Statesboro. Where where they play Tormenta again. And Mark McKeever wants to utilize this hydration break to get Kempis Tequila's yellow card off the table and bring in Rudy Castro, who has made his 10th match of the season. He is at 21 matches in his short League One career, has career highs in goals and assists compared to his marks from his first season with One Knox. And for Northern Colorado Hailstorm, they have a plethora of some tough opponents as well. They go back home to Four Rivers, where they have to play Union Omaha, and then travel to Madison in Wisconsin just to host the Richmond Kickers, who have taken so many opponents tough. And then from the Rockies to the Pacific Northwest and down to South Georgia, where they eventually come back home to play the Triumph. So right there within the next 6 weeks for Northern Colorado, you're talking about the top 3 teams in the USL League One table. And a couple other top-tier offenses with Tormenta in the mix. Spokane's fighting for a playoff spot. Richmond's amongst the mix for a playoff spot as well, as Calixtro was tangled up with Rendon, and that will be a straight red for Bruno Rendon. Bruno Rendon is set off with a straight red. No double yellow for him. And Northern Colorado's leading goal scorer is out for the remainder of the match. That's his second red card of his USL League One career, as Calixtro, just coming off the bench, has to come back into play. As you can see, Rendon, kind of in that box out, takes an elbow to the head of Calixtro. Let's see that again. Yamazaki with the throw. And you can see Rendon, he gets that full arm extension out and hits Calixtro in the face of all places. So Rendon is out. So not only is that Northern Colorado's undoubtedly best offensive weapon in terms of goal scoring, you're talking 9 goals in the League One season, but you're also talking about a one-man advantage for One Knox for the remainder of the next 10 minutes of play. And if there's a chance for Knoxville to get back into it, potentially steal the 3 points, this next 10 minutes has to be it. Especially because if Knoxville gets the first goal across the 2024 season, they've been unbeaten when scoring the first goal, have One Knox, and there's an opportunity to do so now. Sievert Haugli with the one-man advantage, out for Calixtro. Good to see him back in the action to play after taking that elbow to the face. Calixtro centers, Castro back for Calixtro, disrupted, and a whistle on Knoxville. Too aggressive on the offense for Calixtro on Yamazaki. That could have easily gone the other way and potentially have spelled danger for Northern Colorado. Gio Calixtro has just been a force since coming into the match. Takes the return feed from Castro and just gets that, tries to go for a little swim move past Yamazaki, but couldn't quite get it to go as he took the contact along the way. So Lalo Delgado will send this one off. One thing that maybe surprises me the most is even after the red card, Iman Zayed has not gone for a substitution within that little window of time. Up for grabs, Sievert Haugli, chipped away by the Hailstorm. And Skelton back for Lewis. Fernandez. Chrysler, seam for Calixto, tries to serve into the area, comes off of Yamazaki. He saved it off of the end line, but it's still a throw-in for Knoxville. Hailstorm's down to 10. One Knox, want to break the ice. 82nd minute, Calixto disrupted. That's Powder. And Powder's got King all alone at center. Return for Powder. One Knox having to retreat, and a nice block up in front by Danny Fernandez, retreating from the midfield. With the offensive pressure that Northern Colorado have really put on Knoxville the whole game, and with a man down, I'm sure Mark McKeever would not be content with only a point apiece. And with Gio Calixto, normally a forward in that back four with the substitution for Richie, with Kingsford Ajay in the mix as well. Who knows how this will go with even Castro, another forward, getting a substitution. Kelly wanted to chip, Castro holds, getting quadruple teamed, and that one gets retrieved and cleared by David Garcia. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Calixto serves into the area, headed on, and almost got the bicycle kick was Kingsford Ajay. Ajay almost had the final nail in the coffin, but was too high on the bicycle attempt. However, beautiful try for Ajay to potentially get the game-winning goal. Tried the bicycle too high, and you have to credit the effort for the 25-year-old striker from Accra, Ghana. It was some of those flashy plays like that and his goal-scoring acumen. He got 10 goals in 2 seasons with South Georgia Tormento, won the 2022 League One title with Ian Cameron, and is trying to put that same offensive prowess on display for Mark McKeever. And with a man down, 5 minutes to go in regulation, I don't see why not. You got that heavy press from Calixto, Castro, and Ajay, all with fresh legs. Bouncing ball, Castro tried to weave around Evans. It goes out for a Knoxville throw. Yamazaki misread that play as he thought that was a no-co throw. Delay for the double ball as it comes for Kelly. James Thomas had to fight off a defender, and it was bodied off well by Oprah. But Powder tries to escape. King back heels. Martinez has space. Calixto looking to retreat with Haugli. Iman Syed and the Hailstorm should be content with taking the 1 point apiece after Rendon's send-off. And that could hamper things against Union Omaha in the Jägermeister Cup, as Rendon is leading the Jägermeister Cup in goals, and they won't have his services, as Castro wanted to go for Ajay, but miscommunication there. Tangle up between Horde and Skelton, and Fernandez is the only one to claim the ball. Final 4 in regulation, plus stoppage time to go. James Thomas centers for Kingsford Ajay. He's got Haugli in support, but tried to return for Thomas on that far side, but was out of the reach of the 27-year-old defender from England. Played some college ball for James Thomas at the University of New Hampshire. So we see the player down. all the way towards the midfield area that appears to be, it's hard to see who it is. I believe that's Ethan Ford. But for Northern Colorado, they might be content with letting some of these seconds tick off and getting this mini break essentially, because Northern Colorado, with a man down, they've been playing heavy on defense ever since Rendon. So it's Ethan Horde, who is up on his feet. He was spending his first professional season with Northern Colorado after making the trials in the preseason. He's one of 2 players to be tied for 3rd in total League One goal contributions, the other one being his teammate who was sent off earlier, Bruno Rendon. But Jake Keegan is on deck to replace Horde, who is on loan to Northern Colorado from One Knoxville. He makes his 100th regular season match played. Jake Keegan comes in against his former team for his League One match number 100. 84 of those have been starts, 9 in 2024. And he comes to Knoxville and then the ensuing loan to Northern Colorado after spending 3 years with the Greenville Triumph, where he won the 2020 regular season and League One title due to some of the COVID-related rules and restrictions of that League One tournament at the time. But some new offensive presence for Northern Colorado, especially while down a man, could potentially get a singular run from Keegan to just shift this game on its head. But Calixto wanted the pass for Angelo Kelly. King weaves past Callum Johnson as Powder's got Keegan, but that was behind his back. Final minute of the 90. Northern Colorado been down due to a red card ever since the 80th minute. There's a Bruno Rendon elbow to the face on the corner, on a throw-in, pardon, as the throw-in goes for Knoxville. Chucked up for Ajay. Thomas back for Fernandez. No one quite able to break through as Ajay is getting triple teamed, escapes. 5 minutes of extra play, and the whistle on the tackle from Ajay as he's down on the ground provides a set piece for Knoxville. The 5 minutes of stoppage time is brought to you by University Family Physicians. As we take another look at that Ajay tackle, he just got tripped up by Powder. You saw him just stick the leg out, Powder. And the set piece for Knoxville. This could potentially put them up ahead. 91st minute, a man up, tied at 0, 91 out of 5. Ball up in the air, headed on and wide. Corner kick for Knoxville. Only their second of the match. Knoxville corners are brought to you by University Orthopedic Surgeons. As that attempt was taken, Haugley was amongst the many who was jumbled up in the box. Callum Johnson on the second corner from University Orthopedic Surgeons. a potential stoppage time stunner for Knoxville if this goes, with 10 men for Northern Colorado. Johnson outswung, low, deflected, up for grabs and cleared by Noko. Knoxville throw. Kelly in pursuit. They say it last went off of a Knoxville player, so it's actually a Northern Colorado throw. And Billy King will be in no rush to get this one off. Yamazaki steps up for the throw. And a man down is Cello Martinez, who's slow to get up. 35 matches and 30 starts for Martinez. He's probably just going to take his sweet, sweet time to eat up as much of this 5 minutes of stoppage as possible, as we're halfway through it. Yamazaki with the throw. No one was there but Jordan Skelton, who just provides a foot race for Castro. Danny Fernandez, last 2 minutes of stoppage. Chrysler pursued by Keegan. Calixtro. He gets disrupted by King, but Calixtro tries to cross anyways. Kelly leaves it, shoots, scores! Another stoppage time stunner! Knoxville take the advantage in the 94th! Rudy Castro, a man up, a goal up. And that's the second goal for Rudy Castro, the first for Knoxville, and they rip the 3 points away from the Hailstorm. Gio Calixtro, what a force he's been since he come off the bench. Feeds it for Kelly, and the missed assignment from Breck Evans. He ditched Calixtro, leaving Calixtro all alone. Calixtro, Kelly leaves it, and you see Evans just went off of Castro, left Rudy Castro all alone at the 6. And all that was standing between Castro and the back of the net was Delgado, and Castro buries it. In the 94th, a man up, a goal up, and a potential 3 points for one Knox. One Knoxville has won 9 matches in 2024. 8 of them have come via shutout. Can they hold on to the 1-goal lead as Knoxville are in the final minute of defending against a Northern Colorado offense? Yamazaki gets the reception off of the feed from Garcia. Kelly eyeing Yamazaki, plays it back for Evans. Garcia goes long, Powder settles, Oprah holds. And a man loose, and Kingsford Ajay was offside. If Ajay was not called offside, he would have had a breakaway on Lalo Delgado. And a couple of substitutions are on deck for Northern Colorado. Real Gil and Marky Hernandez will take the pitch. And Marky Hernandez, this will make his 100th match in USL League One, as Patrick Langlois will exit the pitch. So Yamazaki and Langlois will exit as the final pursuit for Northern Colorado. Into the area, shoots, and that one's off. Scramble in front and off of the bar and out. Second chance goes overhead. A potential game tire for Noco squandered off of the bar, second chance out. And Northern Colorado had a wide open chance to potentially tie it and couldn't. The feed was up for grabs. Nobody was there but Keegan off of Lewis, and the swing was taken off of the bench by Gill, and then the final swing for Garcia. Garcia had the heartbreaker against Knoxville the last time these two played and almost had it again. Blow the whistle chance comes from the One Knox faithful as they wait for the final whistle. And that will do it. One Knoxville have won the first ever match against Northern Colorado, and it comes in a 94th minute heartbreaker off of the foot of Rudy Castro from Gio Calixtro. Rudy Castro, he scored the game winner. He is our man of the match, brought to you by Alliance Brewing. And there's no surprise as to why. The 94th minute stunner off of this beautiful feed. Gio Calixtro, a force coming off of the bench. Kelly just left it behind, and Castro was all alone to bury that one. As the man of the match is brought to you by Alliance Brewing. And Castro was there to get his second goal of the season, his third in USL League One. He got an assist versus Northern Colorado in that Jägermeister Cup match. Now he's got a goal against them as he gets the game winner. And that will be the decider for the full 3 points and the lone goal. 1-0, One Knoxville over Northern Colorado Hailstorm. We've got more from this game when we come back.
The forecast.
Dad, what was it like before KUB Fiber?
Well, there was fiber internet, but it wasn't always fast. If you wanted to download a game or a movie, you just have to wait for it.
Wait for it?
Honey, you're scaring him.
Say goodbye to waiting and say hello to KUB Fiber. True gig speed for just $65 a month. It's the world's fastest internet, right here in East Tennessee. Only from KUB.
Backyard staycations begin with Earthadelic, transforming outdoor spaces into your own relaxing oasis. From custom design to superior installation, our team is dedicated to providing the highest level of quality and craftsmanship with every one-of-a-kind project. Earthadelic offers stunning, resort-worthy outdoor living that will be uniquely suited for your home, delivering a complete turnkey work of art in your backyard. Earthadelic, surpassing expectations and creating the outdoor paradise you've always dreamed of. Contact us today to schedule your consultation.
As we return here to Regal Soccer Stadium, One Knoxville gets the 1-0 advantage over Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Sean Lewis gets his 5th clean sheet of the 2024 season. That ties him for the most clean sheets in USL League One with Bernd Shipman of Madison. As we take a look at how we got to this 1-0 result after 90 minutes of play, we take a look at the full by Sean Lewis. Dietrich took a shot that went wide, and Yamazaki also gave it a go, with Sean Lewis making denial as well. And then this was right at the start of the second half, Rendon with the header. It was a bobble and out. Rendon couldn't quite get the finish, and then another chance goes for Sean Lewis. He knocks that one out. One of 5 corners for Northern Colorado was punched out by Sean Lewis. He gets the clean sheet. And then it was James Thomas, one of those offensive forces, tried to go to the area, however got headed away by Lucky Oprah. And then the back heel for Gio Calixtro. This was the first shot on net, or even shot attempt for One Knoxville. It came in the 70th minute. Calixtro had a 2-on-1 with Kingsford Ajay. Calixtro with another try. Ajay tried to go for it this time on the bicycle kick. This was almost the game winner at around the 80th minute. However, Calixtro with a beautiful swim move to escape from King. Evans comes off of Castro, and Castro was all alone. to slot home the nail in the coffin for Northern Colorado. The 1-0 decision comes off of Rudy Castro, and if you look at this picture, it does not tell the full tale of the story, especially since we're missing probably the key statistic right there was the 1 red card from Bruno Rendon, because that really shifted the tide of the game as the 4 shots on target, 4 shot attempts, 1 on target, that was 1 from Castro, is the one that mattered. 1-0, 4-1 Knoxville was one decided. Sean Lewis 5 for 5. Well, that'll do it for us, for our entire ESPN Plus crew. It's been a absolute battle between Knoxville and Northern Colorado. Knoxville have 3 wins in a row in a 1-0 match against Northern Colorado. For our entire ESPN Plus crew, thank you so much for joining us in Knoxville. My name is Ryan Lee. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.